welcome to the Talking Wolves podcast. My name's Matthew Cooper. As you can see, we're still in Benidorm, living it up. It's still really hot at the time of recording. It's 20 to 8 in the evening. As you can see, it's still pretty glorious. I'm delighted to say I'm joined by the main man, Dave Azzopardi. Dave, how are you keeping?
Hasta luego. I'm very well, thank you. Lovely and warm. Enjoying ourselves here in Benny. So yeah, all good, thank you.
And you may recognise a familiar face as well. We've got Ewan, who was one of the founding members of Talking Wolves before he thought he was too big for us. He decided to do something else. How you keeping, mate?
I'm good, boys. I'm good.
I bet we thought the day would never come when you get back on the channel. I'm too busy, lads. Too busy.
It's one of them. It's been a good few days. We've really enjoyed ourselves so far.
I've had a really good time. To be fair, I was always told that Benidorm was a bit of a shithole, but it's not the truth at all. I've enjoyed it, man. It's not
as crazy as I thought it was, you know.
No.
Maybe we're in the wrong bits. Like,
took your bed. Well, I think 10 o'clock.
No, I think in the day it's completely different as well. I mean, we said that when we first arrived. The day is like
it comes alive at the night.
A completely different thing.
We were in bars at like 8, 9 o'clock, and they don't get mad till about 12. To be fair, maybe that's just us having a few too many beers.
To be fair though, mate, that place that we were in earlier, what was it? The Rose and Crown, yeah. Rose and Crown, yeah. We've been doing karaoke there every night, haven't we?
We've been running the gaff, you know.
We've been absolutely the metronomes, mate. We're just making it tick. Like it's been empty, and we've been on the karaoke, and before you know it, and I'm not saying they're coming because of us, but they've come because of us, haven't they?
I guarantee, man. We're throughout the day, I've been mentioning songs. That's a good karaoke song.
Yeah, like this would be a tapping tonight when we get that.
I mean, Dave was on top 10 karaoke songs on Spotify.
That was our first night.
Day, so that was
that's a dreadful shout on there, but I think come on Eileen tonight, lads.
Yes. Do you reckon that's what we're going to do?
Yeah, I'm going to start off with that one. I didn't go on last night, to be fair. You did. Absolutely ran the show with a bit of Elvis.
The King, Elvis Presley himself.
If you go on Twitter, M. Cooper Rock, you'll be able to see a tweet of me absolutely running the show. You've got to work the room, haven't you? You don't want someone stood up there being all stiff and rigid.
No, the thing is, we were having some bangers, and then like there was some people singing some like proper dead tunes, like so. Yeah, but it was good, like all the good songs, but like all Wolves related as well. Like
those were the days. Someone put that.
Those were the days, and the DJ was like, I don't think many people in the room will know this one. And like everyone was joining in.
90% Wolves.
It's weird though, isn't it? Because it's like the Wolves version's a lot quicker. Mm-hmm. And everyone's like, no, you know, it goes, those words. Everyone's don't know when to go like with this song.
It's like typical South Bank, like that.
I think Wolves fans, 10 times every song. The speed is on 10 times for everything. I don't know what it is.
It's class though, man. I've really enjoyed it. It's been heavy though, man. We still managed to get content.
I don't know how we felt. Today I felt pretty fresh, to be fair. I don't know about you boys, but
I think we've been trying to eat decent stuff as well.
I think that's the key, man. The first night we had a heavy meal, so the beer just got sunk in. So
you had a terrible night the first one. You didn't sleep a week, did you?
So I didn't actually realise we brought an actual traction engine to
all I hear is
and this guy over here is the worst snorer I've ever heard. I had to put my noise cancelling headphones on the first night in Benidorm. That's how raucous
it's not looking good, bro.
We weren't even on the strip. That was inside.
See, I didn't hear the story, but we had to share a bed last night, didn't we?
It was much better.
I'm laughing, mate. I got the bed to myself now, so rest of the holiday I'm laughing, mate. So
you need to sort that out, mate. Or lie on your front. Or
what's Lib say about it?
Bro, I've never had any complaints about my snoring. Nah, it must be because I've had a drink. That must be what it is.
We have drank. I know. Whenever we do away days, you'll normally piss like after what?
I don't drink. I don't
he
drink.
looks at me, he goes,
That's why I drive.
Yeah. But we went to the. See, I keep getting the name wrong. Is it Rose and Crown?
Yeah, Rose and Crown.
Yeah, we went there a couple of nights, which is where Wolves fans were yesterday.
The official meeting place.
Apparently, the official meeting place. We're going to go to the Old Town as well. I think we might go tonight or tomorrow. We bumped into a few familiar faces as well. Judah and Liam Keane from the Express and Star. We've seen them a couple of times.
Yeah.
But it's been really enjoyable. The turnout yesterday was immense for the Alaves game, which we'll come and talk to about now. We turned up at the Rose and Crown about 2 or 3 hours before kick-off, and you could hear the Wolves fans before you turned the corner. There was loads there, weren't there?
Yeah, it was good atmosphere, man. Loads outside, and then when you went in, it was absolutely packed as well. We timed it quite well, so we were at the bar when they wanted the group photo, so that's why people won't see us on that group photo. But yeah, it was good. It's just a real experience just seeing. Obviously, we've done away days in Europe, but to see that many people there in like just a random bar in in Benidorm's class. So
I was going to say for you boys, obviously you did a lot of the European away games. I wasn't lucky enough to get to go on those, but for me, just being out here with, you know, other Wolves fans, you know, away from home, it's pretty special. I think it's a real unique experience when you experience it.
When we were in Europe though, like obviously the games meant something and the atmosphere was good, but like yesterday, it's like no one gave a fuck and everyone, 95% were absolutely leathered by about 4 o'clock, because like it's a pre-season friendly, even in the sun, you got the beach, like
in an absolute holiday hotspot.
Yeah, exactly, mate. Like this is like, you know,
every club should do this like at least once in a pre-season.
Well, I saw a lot of fans begging their ats. They were in all their clubs on that footy away days pitch, and they were like, "Crystal Palace, please sort this out at least once in my lifetime," or something like that. So it's a coveted spot.
We've done like Ireland under Mick, did Australia, done like Switzerland, so we've never done anything like this. I don't think.
They do Marbella, don't they? But it's not.
Well, last year it was like behind closed doors, wasn't it? Yeah. So
I think it's away from.
Yeah. So yeah, loving it, man.
Do you remember we were talking about Marbella? Remember when they asked Bruno in January about getting into Europe, and he started talking about the Marbella training camp. Yeah, but we went to the Rose and Crown before, which was the unofficial, 100% genuine, unofficial meeting place.
Yeah, official until the Wolves fans turn up and they charge double for the beer, man.
So we've been going in there every night, and you get a bucket of 5-course like for €10. Went in there yesterday. What was it? £17.50 for one bucket. It's poor, that.
Inflation's real. No?
Boris's Benidorm, bro.
I said, look, what's going on? And he went, no, there's no offers on. I was like, you've seen us coming a mile away. So I was a bit pissed off with that, especially when the bloke who's organised it, who's done a good job of it, to be fair. When you get there,
that's a good lad.
Price up, he seems a nice bloke, and they put coaches on, all taxes on for everyone to go.
They've worked hard. I've got to say, like, you know, obviously the playlist was all Wolves one in. They were getting everyone going.
Yeah, it was good to be fair.
It was a good atmosphere.
Yeah, the stadium itself was lovely. Really, it's really, I say picturesque. You got a quarry in the background, but it's fairly that's a comedy on the YouTube.
I knew
that was on Twitter.
Yeah, because we posted our what video, our transfer podcast, and we said, it's a lovely view, and someone said, what, a city skyline? Skyscrapers. And then I put,
high-rise flats.
That was it. And then I put a picture of the stadium up, said beautiful view, and someone says, what a quarry working site. I was like, mate, shut up, man. It's all the people like got 4 followers in about 6 years on Twitter.
So do you reckon he's been manned up like that?
Yeah, I've blocked it. I've called a few things before the back.
To be fair, when he said the tweet out, like some dickhead's gonna say
it. You did say it.
Yeah, so.
Lovely ground though.
It's like a complex, isn't it? I think it's a bit like a very, very mini St George's Park. It's that type of style. You know, you go in, there's different training facilities, and there was like some weird squash tennis.
That was sick, man.
Which looked sick. Like I wanted to play.
It was class though, like how close you felt to the players and the managers, and although
imagine if it was a little bit lower, because obviously we were just a little bit higher than the team and the squad. If we were a little bit lower, it would have been carnage, man.
Wolves had employed a security guard, hadn't they, for
Glenn Tamley, wasn't it?
One of the Spanish skaters like Billericay Towns, ex-owner Glenn Tamley. But Wolves had, I don't know if he's like part of the staff, but they were kind of ushering the players away from fans. But to be fair, look, it must be so fucking frustrating when people running up to you. Like, there was a lad there getting his PSG shirt signed by Luke Cundle, like
an England shirt getting with Rashford on the back. Yeah,
it must be a little bit annoying. But
I think they also appreciate the fact that, you know, so many people have come over here, and they were, you know, fair play to them all. They made time for everyone really that asked. You know, Martinho was signing stuff when he came off the pitch for about 10 minutes. You know, there's a lot of appreciation.
Because where we were like just to the right of the middle of the stand. Where the middle of the stand is, you had like press and then delegates like Huang was there, Semedo, Saha and Adama.
Yeah.
And they all came over and signed some shirts, and the security guard like pulled them all away, or was taking the shirts over to get them signed. So
I think he'll bring his little contactless machine on Saturday. So
right, he'll be making
€10 per signature.
Yeah. Who's it to? Adam. Personalisation's going to be €20. Yeah, it was a nice touch, and one thing that I really liked is Bruno. As he come off the pitch, he like walked up to the fans and said, "Thank you for all coming. Thanks for your support. Really appreciate it."
You know what? The one thing with Bruno, and it was at half time. There was a lad with Chem Campbell. Can I have your shirt, please? And Bruno at half-time pulled Chem Campbell over and said, look, that lad's got a sign
And
for
then
you.
slapped him in the
Slapped
face,
him in
didn't
the
he? Like,
face.
put his arm around him and walloped him.
You know, it's a dream to get a Chem Campbell pre-season.
He's probably thought, right, son, there's probably no way, there's probably going to be people here wanting Cody's shirt, and then don't mind but fucking it.
Well, we need
shirt.
to find a printing shop so I can say, Joe Hodge, can I have your shirt
Well, I'm
ahead of
pretty sure
I
Saturday?
reckon Tim Spears has already got the banner made.
I'm pretty sure we had Corby Arden on the back as well.
He switched it.
Yeah.
I think he had one.
Remember when someone did that to Cody? They had Cody can have your shirt, and then they flipped it around, it had roll, and Cody saw it, he was like,
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm getting that made, mate. Joe Hodge. Harvey Griffiths, can I have your
it's
shirt?
good, yeah, it's all going to be enough
You're
money.
Bueno, man.
isn't it?
Yeah, Hugo Bueno, man. Yeah.
But after the game as well, the players came off the coach, and we had a couple of chats, and spoke to Johnny and Ain't Nuri. I had a
Now,
picture
what did you call Ryan? Ryan Ainor.
Ryan. Bonjour, Ryan.
Mm-hmm.
And then I said to Honey.
I heard him call you a twat as he walks off.
I'm not
as well.
surprised, man. I spoke to him on the tube at Tottenham. He was on the
Remember
tube
that
next
with
to me.
his
Yeah.
I think it was nice for the Spanish fans to see Johnny and
Adama and
as
stuff,
well,
yeah.
Yeah, and then well, we went to do an interview, but apparently when Bruno come off the outside to get on the coach, he like moved the barrier and was just chatting to fans and saying like really appreciate support.
I'd love to have chatted to him.
Yeah, and had pictures of everyone. Was just walking around freely. Some of the players wanted to get on the coach, and I don't blame them. But it was not a couple of people had photos with Neves and Cody and a few of us. So it's great. I think they do appreciate it. And you know, someone like Nathan Collins coming in and looking at and seeing 2,000 Wolves fans in a pre-season friendly. I don't think he'd ever got that at Burnley or Stoke.
Yeah.
I'm sure I'll be corrected if I'm wrong on that anyway, but it was excellent. But one thing I will say before we actually talk about the game is if you are planning to come to the game on Saturday, please make sure that you sort your transport out on the way
You
home.
need to, 100%.
Oh my God. So we tried to get a taxi on the app, and over here they don't do Uber, they've got Cabify, but you need a Spanish SIM. So there is an app, and it's pretty shit. You're alright if you're in and around Benidorm here, but the stadium's about 15 minutes away. And we were stranded for about an hour and a half, and it's like a 2-hour walk, and my knees ain't great. We literally couldn't get a taxi, and we were at this squash club having a few beers thinking, I've rang taxi companies, they was like, no, we can't pick you up, and we thought, what on earth are we going to do here? So we ended up fucking hitchhiking all the way back here. It cost
I've been livid for the last 24 hours about that.
it cost us €50 to go 15 minutes. I had to fucking beg the bloke, but mate, his driving was so erratic. I thought I was going to die.
I thought we'd pay €50 for our death, to be honest. I thought it was, yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, make sure you do. But I can't understand how, of all the Wolves fans that were there, how we were like the last three that were stuck. I don't understand.
Yeah, I mean, it was
Maybe it's us that the problem.
Well, that's what they've been telling us for a while, mate. But honestly, it's the worst like 2.5 hours of my life because it's up like country roads as well. Like there's no lighting. I just thought we're going to get murdered here at some point. But we managed to hitchhike a lift off some bloke.
The bloke said there's only four taxis in the whole of that little town?
Yeah, he said it's well, from what I understand, my Spanish isn't great, but with normal English. He said like this small town, we have about 4 taxis and that's it.
No, I think that's unfair. I think your Spanish is really good to him. You like to party? You can party with us, we pay for your drinks.
Red lion?
He said like, party, like, you know, but if I speak...
They can't speak to you, like if you speak to him in normal
No,
language.
but you've got to speak a little bit slower, haven't you? I won't go
Yeah, but
like,
you don't have to-
unos cervezas, por favor, 2 beeros, please, os.
Strawberry Coca-Cola.
I mean, I was even trying to speak Spanish from the phone to the taxi service.
That was good, I rate that, that was good.
Hablas en inglés? See, I was like, oh, like, can you come pick us up? We're in the middle of nowhere, but it was a stinker, wasn't it, man?
We've got, fingers crossed, we've got a lift sorted for
Well, I got
Saturday.
on the app, and after like 2 hours, I was like, he's coming, he's here. And he pulled onto the complex, drove off, and started driving the other way, and I was like,
Someone definitely nicked that
Yeah, we
taxi.
think people were just nicking them, so it is what it is.
Let's talk about the game, lads. Wolves 4, Alaves 0. Dave, impressive.
Yeah, it was
What do
alright,
you think of the back
decent.
4?
I like it. Like I've said before, it's getting more men further forward. I'm not completely dead against the back 5 because I think we can still do okay with that. I think you just need a bit more energy and a bit more of a presence in the midfield. But the back 4 is okay. I think there's still some issues that need to be ironed out, but it's not going to happen overnight. So these sort of games do help. But yeah, going forward, a much more impressive performance. There was a couple of chances where we should have probably done a little bit better, but I would say bar obviously bar the penalty, but even on the lead up to the penalty, the ball was phenomenal by Neves. Every single goal was really well worked.
Ewan, impressive, dominant, wasn't it? Really?
Yeah, I think it's hard to talk about the defence in a game like that because obviously the opposition were subpar, but the positives are going forward. I think we've said this. I know I've said this for a good couple of years. We just haven't had anyone who just really drives with that ball and tries to go at defences. It always seems to go out wide and then comes back from Semedo to the back. The defence, and then we start again on the other side. But it was nice to see some real positive movement from players like Podence and Gibbs White, and it was evident with that Gibbs White assist to Neto. Just all came from that.
Let's talk about the first goal, as you just touched on there, Dave. The Neves ball over the top. It was like a heat-seeking missile, wasn't it? It was excellent.
Yeah, Neto did well, really. I mean, he just got flattened. It was a definite penalty.
Oh, it was a stone wall.
Yeah, but Neves was really good again. Some of the balls he was playing, and good. Looking good that he's going to be staying for next season. I think, unless any major late changes, I think he's going to be a Wolves player. Fingers crossed. So, but yeah, he was phenomenal, and I think it's interesting because you look at that first 11 he played, and that is, in my mind, probably close to what I would probably expect him to start. But then obviously you've got Cody and Bolly there, and a lot of people are expecting Kilman and Collins to be in there. Whether Bruno put them in for the second half to test them a little bit more, because no disrespect, it was probably a slightly weaker midfield. But yeah, it was good, and it's not just a 4-4-2 or 4-3-3 or whatever. It's a really attacking with the way with the fullbacks really get forward.
As well, isn't it?
It's like
almost like
but in two at the back. It's like mad.
Transition and attacking. Or literally just got two players back.
Yeah. And that's what I'm saying. Like, we'll talk about the Levante game. That's where they got caught out, and to where Alaves, I don't really bar the second half. I think they had a chance where Sarkic sort of knocked it onto the bar. Other than that, he wasn't really tested. So it's just good to get the sharpness up, try and get us familiar to a particular system.
First half though, Neves was dropping a little bit deeper, wasn't he? But Cody and Bolly were also dropping it deeper compared to the second half when Dendog came off, Podence came on, and you had Collins and Kilman. They were stepping up a lot more. I don't know if that's intentional.
I don't dislike Neves dropping a bit deeper because he's got someone like Morgan that can drift infield and actually help centrally still. The issue with Nuno, for argument's sake, was that we were playing a 5-2-3 or whatever, or 5-3-2, and Neves was sat so deep and there wasn't really anyone in front of him that was going to drive the ball forward. So I think I don't mind that because he's got the passing range to be able to make things happen, and we saw that with the second goal, didn't we? With Morgan, really nice work and a great finish by Neto.
Let's talk about that. The ball came into Morgan and he's taking the ball on a half turn, and Ewan. Those players picking up in those half spaces is exactly what we've been missing, isn't it? And it's a lovely, intricate move, one-touch passing, and a really, really good finish from Neto, because that's not an easy chance to take.
No, it's not. I've got to say, the one thing I was super impressed with Gibbs White for that goal was that I feel like Gibbs White of 2 years ago would have backed out of that. When it was a bit of a coming together in the ball.
Just give the ball away needlessly.
I feel like in a pre-season friendly, you might have just been like, actually, what?
It's not worth the 50-50.
But I really appreciate the fact that he was like, no, I'm getting to that ball, and he's got a turn of pace, a little pass inside, and that was it. And it was a really nice move. Like I said, it was a different option to anything we've had over the last couple of years. It always seems to be go out wide and come back inside. It was just so nice to go through the middle. Like you said, Neto, fantastic first time finish, because that is not easy.
No, really. I mean, on reflection, I feel like the keeper can probably do it a little bit better.
As a former keeper,
former professional goalkeeper myself. I think he could have a little bit better, but
he's still fuming at Jose Sarr for that Southampton game.
I'm not being funny, but he would have been disappointed to have conceded that. He really would have. But let's not talk about that because it's not important anymore. It was a really good finish, but just playing through the middle of the park, like it's all like you say, it's always going out wide and it's coming back, and it was nice to just really penetrate. I mean, it can be applied. So when it does happen, I mean, it doesn't happen very often, but it's quite nice. And Wolves as well. They're not going.
What do you mean by that?
But in the second half, we saw Podence come on for Dendoncker. To be honest, Dendoncker, I know we criticise him sometimes, but that's the couple of games we've seen today and yesterday. He's looked really good.
It's a lively first half in one. He was getting into a few scraps and stuff.
He loves it, man. He seems quite a quiet character, but he always he's up for a little bit of a
I like it. I think I like it when players back each other.
Well, we've seen the worst of it today, which will come on.
He had a good chance in the first half. I was talking to, was it you, Matt, this morning, just had to get it out of his feet a little bit more, but tested the goalkeeper, and I think if he can he picks up good spaces. I think he's just lacks that we
If
saw
he
it a
could
lot of
finish,
time.
mate, he's like
if
the
he had a
Belgian
good
Frank
first half,
Lampard.
he finishes laughing.
I was going to say, because he had that chance in the box yesterday. It was quite early on in the game.
Yeah, that was the one. He couldn't get out his feet.
He just
He
couldn't get
tested
out
the
his
goal.
feet.
Yeah.
He's going straight down the middle.
Yeah.
But with Pedence coming on, it was almost like a 4-2-3-1.
Yeah.
But real fluidity
It was.
from the front four, really. And the third goal came from that. And one thing I picked up with the third goal, which we've been dying for, Pedence dummied over the ball, went out to Johnny. Pedence followed the run into the box,
Yeah.
and then got his just
If
rewards.
I reckon, I don't know off the top of my head, if you stop that when Johnny's got the ball, I reckon at least 3 other players are in the box.
Yeah.
And that's what we have now.
From
Normally we're having
Raul.
Raul on the wing, trying to cross the ball in, you got no one in there.
Taking his left foot and trying to rebound.
Yeah.
It always feels like, that you just said Raul is taking it out wide, and it feels like we're always 5 paces behind him.
Yeah.
And yesterday it just felt like, no, you know what, we have 3 or 4 in the box, and for Pedence to score a header is just hilarious.
Now, hasn't it?
I just think it's
2 years ago yesterday, I quoted that and you're like flipping it.
Yeah.
It's a bit sad, but yeah.
Up to date.
Opta,
Yeah. But
No, it's good.
I think it's important to remember as well, these are not a great side.
No.
But you can only beat what's in front of you. But the early signs are encouraging. But to see Pedence like just clever bit of play, just to follow the run, great cross from Johnny. And I don't know, I just got excited watching the Wolves team, and that hasn't happened very often in the last 2 years. So we shall see what the season brings. But that Kilman goal,
unreal.
absolutely outstanding. You like as soon as he picked the ball up and he drove past one, I was like, I know what's going to happen here.
Do you know he played foot?
Yeah, well, I think that's what's helped him with that though. 'Cause he's just, he ability to carry the ball and almost shield the ball.
Mate, when we watched the replay back, they got the really good angle of it from like behind the goal, and there's one lad that's almost gone into
Just spearing
fouling,
him.
yeah, and he shrugs off that challenge.
Yeah.
And then when you get around the area, if you go, it's a bit scruffy, but you actually watch it back, the way he brings it back onto his right foot and almost kills it into the far corner.
I
It's
think-
such a good goal.
I think futsal as well, because you do play with a smaller and a bit heavier ball. You learn how to shield the ball very, very well.
control,
because
yeah,
you know
move it.
you're playing on a small court, and people are coming inside and trying to get that ball, just trying to nick it out of the way.
That didn't happen when I played.
You play some mad futsal, bro.
I was gonna say, he was balls over
That's
the
what we
top.
saw at the red line on one of the shows.
Yeah, literally. But no, it was fantastic. I mean, I said to you yesterday, him and Collins, if they can get that going.
Yeah, Collins looked a little bit shaky. He just looked nervous. I think it's hard to.
Yeah, like we've already said, I think there wasn't much pressure on both players. Yeah, like you said, I think Collins did look a little bit shaky, but it's so hard to judge.
Did you
so
hear him though? He's vocal. Like,
Yeah,
I
that's
really
what
like the
I said.
fact he was commanding that.
Oh, that's what they've said.
In the
And
first couple
Kilman
of
obviously got the captain's armband as well. So,
Kilman's
which is
holding
weird.
him as well.
Yeah, but Kilman, I would have said he's pretty quiet, but I don't know what he's like on the pitch. But
Yeah, no,
Collins,
he's not
Collins
a
have
leader.
said he's very vocal. So
I respect that. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Should we move on to the Levante game today?
flipping.
Mate, where do we even start here? Now, the club had made it very, very clear of what they perceived today as, and that was a warm-up practice match. No mention of friendly match, and Mikey Burrows made that very clear. He mentioned it 5 or 6 times that the heading of the YouTube video was practice match. The club obviously didn't want it to be perceived by fans as a friendly. But Dave, what on earth happened?
Well, I don't know. Again, it was fairly similar to the Alaves game in the fact that Wolves had a lot of the ball. Obviously, we saw a lot of different faces in this game because a lot of the key senior players for Wolves played at least 60 minutes yesterday, which I was surprised, pleasantly surprised at. We still saw the likes of Donk play, Morgan play, the guys that came off, fairly early on. But Levante were... I'm not going to say, Wolves were the good guys, because we certainly weren't, but Levante were very dirty and late in challenges. So the first one and the first brawl that people would have seen is the Mosquera one. That was a bad tackle, but there were 2 or 3 prior to that, and we've said it on the review and reaction. If you've got a young player that's wanting to break into the first team, he's had 2 major injuries in the last 12 months, the last thing that he wants to happen is another injury over a stupid challenge, especially in a game that's not even an official friendly. So he's got every right to react like he did. I don't know why you can't really see the initial confrontation in the corner because of the camera angle, but you don't send players off in a practice match like you said. You say right, lads, these two need to be taken off the pitch now, and if you're not going to take them off, I will send them off. But
I do think a few of them have got to learn to control that anger though.
Yeah, Pedence as well.
Yeah.
I don't know what's happened, I don't know what's said, but...
Yeah. And part of you will think, like, at Molineux, that you'd be like, okay, come on, you love it.
You want a bit of bite, but he's got to be
but
controlled.
The fact that it's not just today, we had 2 or 3 scuffles yesterday as well, and Matt said on the review, you want aggression, but it's got to be controlled.
Yeah.
So that's the one thing that we've got to be cautious of, but it's something that Bruno's brought in. You know, I think ever since that Brentford game last year, we've seen this dirty side to Wolves. We've seen this take no shit attitude almost. But we have got players that we possibly have been a little bit soft under Nuno, but we've just got to be careful, because if this is happening in a pre-season game within the first 45 minutes, then you've got to be really careful.
And the players were told if there's any other incidents in the game, it's going to be abandoned. But it shouldn't have even got to that. You could see that it was boiling over.
Well, the ref, he let a lot slide, as in strong challenges, and I'm all for a pre-season game being free-flowing, but some of them were dirty, like straight bookings, like, you know. So yeah, the second half was a little bit chilled out, and I said that's why I'm sort of glad we didn't see the likes of Neves, Matinho, because there was a little scare with Neves yesterday. Remember, we went down for a little bit. Yeah. If that happened today and said some of their players kicking the crap out of him, you would have been really angry.
Do you think it's because we're like, you know, a Prem team coming over and playing against? Do you think there's anything to do?
I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is.
These guys
so as mad as it sounds, it might just be that we're quicker and sharper and we're getting away from them a little bit more. They're just reckless.
Because I know the Joe Hodge, when he turned his man, didn't he? And he's turned his man with a flick through his legs, nice move, and the players just dragged him to the ground.
Dirty, man. Just dirty.
So he might be a little bit quicker, but we still ended up losing the game 2-1. But Wolves did get a goal, didn't they, Dave? Collarone corner and Toti Gomez rising high.
Yeah, it's a good header. Like I say, though, it's the only really time we tested their goalkeeper, so it was good to get a goal. I think we scored from a set piece against Burnley as well, so it seems like we're doing okay at those, and I think that's probably an area we needed to improve on a little bit, actually. And I think with the likes of Collins and stuff coming in, you know, we could do that. The one thing was that Gomez had actually come off at half time and come back on, same with Ronan, but we need to sort out the right back situation, I think, because we've been playing full backs there. Well, same with left back yesterday, to be fair. Totti came on second half for a little bit ahead of Bueno, which was a bit weird, and Collins played right back for a little bit today as well, so I think right back's definitely the area that we need to strengthen right now, especially with Semedo injured.
Yeah, we don't know how long he's going to be. It's probably to the start of the season, didn't they? So we shall see. I mean, it's obviously disappointing to lose the game, but it was a nothing match, wasn't it? It was just just a kick about.
If there was literally kicking out. If there were players like Jimenez and Neves and Matinho and so on playing, I'd be really disappointed. And I've seen comments of people saying, "Flipping it, this is not looking good. If we're losing to teams like this, Brev, just look at the team that was playing and then like talk about it." But yeah. It was a really non-event. I would have been disappointed if I had to pay for a stream or turn up to that game.
Was terrible.
Yeah.
Questions, lads? Let's get on to them before we wrap it up and go out and have a few drinks.
Bosh.
Andy Hipkins, friend of the pod, has asked, in the 2 games so far, which under 23 player has impressed you most and why? Dave, I'll come to you first.
So yesterday, like the Besiktas game, Alaves game, we didn't see a huge amount play, did we? I think Corbiano came on and looked bright. I don't know if he's stronger for his left, because he seems a little bit scared to hit it on his right, but at the same time, today he did it, and yesterday in Alaves, he did test the keeper with his right foot. So he's looked bright. Joe Hodge looked really comfortable on the ball as well. I mean, not seen a huge amount of him, but you know, he was injured for a lot of the last season, and when he came into the 23 setup, he was really solid. So yeah, not seen a huge amount of them yet, because some of them have only played a handful of minutes, but I think definitely at the Besiktas and the Villarreal B game, we'll see a lot more of them.
Ewan?
I thought Chem Campbell worked hard yesterday. I don't know a huge amount. I've never really got the hype around him, if I'm honest with you, about Chem Campbell. So it's probably my first time actually really seeing him play yesterday. I thought he was alright, and obviously I thought Corbiano was decent. I do think Corbiano needs to learn when to shoot though, because there was a few opportunities where he'd actually gone past the man and he actually had quite a bit of space running from the byline, and he could have just hit it, to be honest with you. The other thing is, I feel like he's a bit like Bambi sometimes on the ball. But again, he did alright and he got past a couple of their players, but it's hard to tell against standard like that because
Especially
it's not
after
against
2 games as well.
It's not a Premier League fullback, so it's hard to say. And obviously, I didn't manage to catch today's game, so I'd have to say those 2 from yesterday.
What's your thoughts on Colin so far, Dave? Remy has asked that.
Yeah, we spoke about him a little bit. Oh my word, that wasn't me that said it, folks. That soundboard. Oh man, a little bit.
He's gashing.
No, I mean the last.
Do you like that though?
No, I'm sweating.
Mate, his arse is going now. He thinks Nate's going to be listening to the podcast.
I can't get my words out now. No, he looked a bit nervy yesterday.
Yeah.
And again, he wasn't. Although we lost the game, he played a decent amount. He wasn't tested a huge amount. He brought out the ball a couple of times.
He carries it
and
well.
Yeah, he carried it all right. But I've not seen enough of him yet for me to give a full and honest review of it.
He's very front-footed, isn't he? He's willing to go and meet the ball. I like that, and Kilman's the same. But like, he looked a little bit nervy, but I'm sure we all would, making our debut for a club in pre-season.
It's not easy in this heat either, man. We can barely walk 10 minutes in it. So playing like 90 minutes or a good 60 minutes, like at a decent pace, you're gonna struggle.
Ewan, what have you thought of Colin so far?
Again, I said earlier on in the pod, but I thought that he's only known his teammates 7 days, and he was he was loud. He was trying to control that back line. Again, I really respected that. I do think he was a little bit jumpy, maybe is the word, on some of the balls that came over. But I think I saw a clip today of him when I managed to catch 5 minutes of the game. I just love the fact he brings that ball out.
Yeah.
He creates so much space going forward. He's going to bring players towards him, which is going to allow more space going forward for players like Morgan and Pedence to run into those little pockets. So again, it's early days that we've seen. Not even a full 90 really of him yet, have we? So it's hard to say, but I'm excited by the prospect of him and Kilman especially.
Matty and Evan have asked, what happens with Conor Ronan? Seems like Bruno really likes him and clearly impressed, but does he have a role in the squad this year?
Maybe. I said on one of the earlier podcasts, I think it was the pre-season one, I think you could have a lot worse players on the bench as players that are probably happy to be back up. Obviously, we didn't see him at all, which I was quite surprised about against Alaves, but he played today and he looked all right. I prefer to see him in a 3, I think. He played in a 2 the last couple of times. I'd prefer to see him in a 3 and see how he gets on, but he's got the set piece delivery. I think he's a decent free kick taker. We've seen him on the corners, obviously got the assist today. We'll have to wait and see. I'm hoping he gets some minutes against Besiktas on Saturday, so we can have a really good look at him with a first team surroundings, really.
You?
I think if he gets loaned out again, it's game over. He's six
so
loans.
24 now as well, isn't he?
He's had 6 loans in 8 years, which is, that's last chance saloon, isn't it?
Golfer.
Yeah. No, I don't mind him. I think he's all right, but I don't
Technically
think he's
very good, isn't he, on the ball?
Yeah, but I don't think he's anything. I'm yet to be convinced, to be honest with you, by him. I don't think he's anything that we.
I don't know what his best position is.
No, this is the problem. Nobody really knows.
I've seen people say he's a DM. Not for me. I don't think he's built for it. Attacking mid, I'm not so sure. On the wing, so he needs to try and nail down a solid position to impress Bruno. Bruno obviously seems to like him in a midfield too. But I think in a midfield 3 he'd do a job.
I'm surprised he didn't come on yesterday though.
Ahead of you got Hodge and that came on yesterday.
Yeah, I think he's probably rated higher than Hodge though.
Yeah, for sure. So I don't, unless Bruno already had it in his mind that he wanted to give him more than 60 plus minutes today.
Stu's asked, obvious question. Are we really naive enough to go into the new season with just Raul as a striker?
Yes.
Probably, Wolves probably are. We need one though. I don't think they would have sanctioned the Fabio deal without a striker lined up. But who knows? I don't like the Pedence up front idea. Don't really like anybody else being up there other than Raul. Maybe someone like Christian Benteke to come in.
I was waiting for it.
Someone had to go. What did he say?
We walked into that boozer yesterday and those blokes wanted me and asked when the next video was. Probably watching this actually. And his lad turned to me. I think it was his lad. He went, Does Dave honestly think Christian Benteke is the answer? Because he's a fucking idiot if he does.
Yeah.
So well, it's got to that point with that desperate for signings, but
Sighted players.
they've got that you and they've got to be bringing in someone else, haven't they?
I mean, look, Raul played okay yesterday. There was nothing wrong with his performance, but it's who do you turn to if he's injured? It's at the moment it's Jem Campbell, isn't it?
Or up and ends, but they're
Up
all
and ends, but
they're all stuck square pegs round holes, aren't they?
I think if it's
Wang
Podence,
maybe, but
well, I mean, let's not go there. Yeah, I mean, I would really hope so that they're not that stupid, to be honest with you.
CBA has asked, with Chiquinho injured, do you think Corbiano should stay with the first team this season and be given a chance?
Maybe. I think he's good enough, but again, I would probably want us to see whether Adama stays or goes. Probably still want to see another winger, to be fair.
Guedes.
But to be fair, if Adama stays, you got Neto, Podence, Hwang,
Gibbs White.
Adama, Gibbs White's been playing there, and they call Biano someone that's maybe in between the two teams. But I think the club will want him to be playing first team football, most probably at Championship or high league.
It depends what position, what formation we play anyway. Because, you know, I think Chiquinho, in that three, Chiquinho, yeah, great. But on the wing, yeah, fantastic. But, you know, I think we have got options up there if we do play that three, like you just said, Morgan and Adama if he stays
I think the club will want him to be playing first team football.
For Corbiano's sake, yes.
If they can find somebody lower end of Championship, higher end of League One that's going to give him the minutes again, they'll do it.
Yeah. I don't know. It's an interesting one. Like I said, I'm with Dave. I'd like to see someone else come in.
A new signing, it's make it a bit more exciting, wouldn't it?
Yeah, someone like Benteke, maybe.
I think, yeah. I mean, he did a good job, wouldn't he? Wide target man.
Benteke's.
Jake has asked, how are all your suntans coming along? I mean, I'm alright. I tan really well anyway.
I think I picked up a little bit. Sun-kissed skin.
Sun-kissed skin. You're looking alright.
I mean, I'm pretty much albino, so it's pretty.
To be fair, none of us are bothered about big sunbathing. It's been walking for us. That's how we've caught the sun.
Boring,
I like being out in the sun. Don't get me wrong, but I'm not one of these people who can just lounge about in it. Like I'll go on a walk and something, or like I don't know, do something like that. I'm happily sit out, but
we just go to the pool for an hour, do a couple of power bombs or whatever, cannonballs.
Tom Daly died, and then we're in.
I think it's good to do the 20-minute, half an hour walks. You probably pick up as much.
We've done a lot of walking, haven't we? Like you said earlier, 15,000 steps,
20,000 steps. I love walking now, especially in this heat. I've never been here before, so it's just nice to go and have a look around. But in answer to your question, mine's all right. Dave's is okay.
It's all right.
And
Ewan looks like Haaland.
And
like Jose Sal.
He's dead pale for someone
who's
yeah. Final question is from Ruben. He said, best beer in Benidorm, and also, are there any heavy ones planned?
So, would you class the last 2 nights as heavy?
Heavy for me at 26, yeah. We've been
I've had worse, but I've had
we've been pretty
lighter.
steamy now, haven't we?
Yeah. But they're not paralytic. Like we've remembered everything that's happened.
It's not been heavy from a late perspective, but the thing is, we've started quite early. Like yesterday.
That's age though. That is, mate. When you start to grow up, you start a little bit younger, but you start to.
The sun don't out though, does it? So.
I mean, we started 3 o'clock yesterday.
We haven't treated ourselves to some premium lagers, have we? Really? Like we've just been on Coors and what was one? Amstel. That was gash, man. That was that. That was gash. No, don't play that clip, man. Matt's got this little sound recorder. This guy is a clown. Stop playing them clips, man. So yeah, but like I said, Rose and Crown ripped us off. So I don't know.
We're back there tonight though. Put the world to rights.
Mate.
But yeah, just been drinking Coors.
We've had Estrellas actually.
Yeah, they were excellent last night in that little fucking squat bollocks.
I might go. On Saturday, I might book a call for after the game.
Mate, it looked unreal. I don't know what the game was, but
no bounce, volley only.
They'll
just smash it across it. Yeah, it was sick.
I had a couple of vodka lime sodas yesterday, and mate,
you were finished after one of them.
3/4 vodka. I get a little top of lime and soda. But it did the job. But lads, that's all we've got time for today. Just conscious of the time and not eating yet, and I could do some food and maybe a couple of beers. So, Ewan, fantastic to have you on, mate. I'm sure if we do another one, you'll be straight on. So it's good to have you back. not a permanent signing for Talking Wolves. We can't afford him, unfortunately. But Ewan, where can people find you? Should they wish to find you?
If you want to see some mad techers, EAB skills on all social platforms.
Tell people, in case people join the Talking Wolves party, what do you do?
Football freestyle. Work with different footballers. Do body doubles, stuff like that. Adverts.
Who have you done body doubles for?
Done Kevin De Bruyne.
Willy Bolly?
That lad by the pool today.
But no, it is good fun. It's good fun.
Dave, where can people find you? Should they wish?
At Dave as a party. I appreciate some of the follows on Insta, by the way, as well. So.
Yeah, keep following us. You
Plenty
might see Dave in a gutter later.
Yeah, a few likes on our stories of us singing as well. But yeah, really enjoyed it. Thanks, and thanks for coming on, Ewan.
Anytime. Yeah. And I'm M Cooper Wright on Twitter and Instagram, and of course Talking Wolves across all social platforms. Do not forget to like the video, subscribe if you're new, comment down below your thoughts, and until next time, take care and hopefully see some of you on Saturday.